Sean, how's your time?
I'm good. I wanna say something that um, hopefully highlights what we've been talking about, and that is developmentally speaking, or the developmental challenge of each age group of kids that we coach. We need to understand what the task is for that age group. So if you're dealing with teenagers, they're struggling for autonomy. If you're dealing with older kids, then mastery becomes a part of it. But I wrote down three concepts that I think are really important for all of us, including myself and other coaches, to really dig deep into. And that is, we need to understand the correlation between playing time, execution, and or performance and contribution. Young people right now, when they play a sport, regardless of what their current skill level is, when they walk away from the game or they walk away from practice, what they're asking themselves is, did I make a difference today? Did I do something that contributed to the goal or the perceived accomplishment of the whole? If I walk away, or if a young person walks away because the bench was shortened, or because they didn't get feedback that they were looking for, or they're going to walk away and their level of engaging energy the next time they show up is going to be diminished. If they were out playing or executing on, during the game, and somebody came up to them and said, "Hey, the gap that you had on that last play is one of the reasons why the turnover happened." And there doesn't matter where they're playing in the lineup. If they walked away and they got feedback that they could then see, I contributed, I did something productive in support of the goals that this team has. That's what most young people are looking for from the group experiences. Did I make a difference? Did my involvement, my engagement, my play, whether it was 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, did I do something today that I can walk away from and say, I made a difference today? And I did it in front of my peers. It wasn't that I just did it alone or I just did it in the backyard. I actually made a difference in what my team, my peers were trying to accomplish, and I had a significant role in that. I think playing time becomes, it's certainly important because you got to give people a chance to play and develop. But if you get playing time without feedback, then you're walking away blind just with more playing time. And when I have kids on calls with me talking to me about the mental challenges that they're facing, one of the most often talked about things they talk about is, I don't get any feedback. I don't know, did I make a difference? Did I do what I was supposed to? Did I not do what I was supposed to? And and they wonder at times, should I even show up tomorrow? What's the point? So I just wanted to say that to again bring clarity and dive deep into these concepts of what's important to kids and what extracts and engages them productively. It's the feeling of contribution, acknowledgement, and feedback.
Sean, I'd like to mention something we've talked about for the past number of years related to feedback. Feedback has evolved from yelling to telling, and yelling and telling, and usually pointing out mistakes, which coaches are really good at. We all see mistakes. But what we want them to do is identify those specific moments of, like you said, the gap control, the poke check, the angle, the block shot. Those little details are beyond the comprehension, I would say, of over 70% of amateur coaches. And even good ones tend to just focus on the best players and don't detect the really important little things that lead to winning, like that gap control, creating a turnover to create the rush going the other way. And I think the Socrates method of coaching now is going from yelling to telling to asking. In the case of mistake, what could you have done differently? What did you see? And being able to, the art of coaching at the right stuff, the right amount, the right time, more work on providing specific recognition of good performance, detailed, not just good job, hard work, well done, fabulous, pat in the back. Say the specific that you want to reinforce to them. And don't be afraid to point it out loud enough for others to hear.
It's interesting you should say that, Wally. When parents, they'll say, man, I can't get my kids to do their homework. I can't get them to do that. I go, well, how often do you nag them? Well, they say, I nag them all the time. I go, did you know that nagging actually trains your kids to forget, not remember? And it's the same thing with coaching. If you point out mistakes all the time, and then you are noticing imperfection, and then you wonder why we have perfectionists out there as hockey players, because they're trying to please their coaches by being perfect, because a lot of coaches are just pointing out imperfect play. It just facilitates and fosters a mental mindset of perfectionism, which increases anxiety and decreases creativity and all that kind of stuff.
So awesome.
Excellent. Just
What'd you say, Hal?
So awesome. That's why I love you.
Yeah, Sean, your languaging and the points you bring out in terms of, they're academic, but they're simple and they make sense. And most of us work with coaches, and a lot of Tom, who's still coaching, coaches are learning from watching him, particularly in his practices. But I really think that I really love the way you're communicating. I went on the website and I looked at the number of articles you've written. They're simple, to the point, and I'm going to share them. And I do want you to share that document on having potential leaders. Would you explain that again? That assignment of having them fill out a form or answer a question and be interviewed by their team.
You said you'd like me to explain that again?
Yes, if you could.
Sure. First of all, thank you, Wally, for the kind words. I appreciate it. I guess where I start is that any opportunity to serve as a leader starts with understanding what the job is. So I believe in creating a clear description of what job the leader is asked to fulfill. That job should define also what it looks like to be successful, and what the responsibilities are. And then when it's time and leaders are going to be given an opportunity to, in a sense, interview for the job, then it's my belief that they should present their case in front of their coaches and their teammates based on the expectations of the job. And that feedback should then be given by the team and the coaches to determine who interviewed the best, or who seemed most prepared for the opportunity and the privilege that it is to lead. And I think part of the value of it holistically is that we all got to interview for something in our life at some point. We're interviewing our spouses, potential spouses. We're interviewing for jobs. We're interviewing for opportunities. And the better we get at acknowledging who we are, noticing opportunities where we think we can succeed, I think the more broad range, valuable participating in a youth sport becomes.